Alright, I'm tired of saying the same thing to start every video, so I'm just gonna lie to you guys. This game absolutely sucked, and the Mavericks won Game 2 with a final score of 109 to 108. In case you're watching my video and you didn't see the game last night, you truly missed out. Luka Doncic hit a game-winning three as time expired over the Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, and it was amazing to watch. You could even see, you could read his lips as he was staring down Gobert. He called him a mother effer. You can't effing guard me. That energy is insane. If he says that at the end of the first quarter, it's likely a technical foul. Instead, it's at the end of the game, game over, see you in Game 3. Now there's three things I quickly want to acknowledge that are aging extremely poorly related to Minnesota. First off was my video where I said that they were gonna be the NBA champions. I didn't just say that, but I basically made a title saying that they appear to be the clear favorites. Well, after losing the first two games in Minnesota, yeah, their backs are against the wall, and I don't necessarily feel as confident as I once did. I mean, cut me some slack here. I didn't realize Luka Doncic was gonna go Super Saiyan mode. The guy's been insane. To be honest, they shouldn't have even been in this game, but it was Luka who was carrying them with his facilitating and his scoring throughout the night. The second thing that isn't aging well related to Minnesota is Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year. And I get it, that might sound like a casual take. In reality, he's been getting burned by guys like Nikola Jokic and by Luka Doncic, and just the optics of that are making him look bad. I get it. He is so huge for Minnesota defensively, especially around the rim. But the optics are the optics, man, and people are going to run with these narratives, and whether or not it's actually true at its core, people are looking at his Defensive Player of the Year and saying, that's fake. That should have gone to Victor. And I think the momentum of that is going to be so strong that it's almost useless to fight it. Like, I get it. That might not actually be true, but I just think that's overwhelming in that direction at this point. And the third thing that isn't aging well for Minnesota was Anthony Edwards saying, I've got Kyrie. I'm just going to come out and say it. Anthony Edwards guarding Kyrie Irving is a mistake. The guy has been completely gassed, and he doesn't look like himself on offense because he's expending way too much energy on defense. I'm just reacting right after the game, but I just got it confirmed on Twitter. Dave McMenamin talked about it, and I'm sure it's going to be all over the internet by tomorrow morning when you guys see this. Anthony Edwards had to be hooked up to an oxygen mask when he went to the bench. That is insane, the kind of effect that Kyrie is having on him. Again, maybe that has to do with dietary issues. Maybe there's some sort of health concern that we don't know about. He's only 22 years old, so it's a little bit concerning that he's this heavily affected. But it's the deepest he's ever gone into the playoffs, and it's one of the most impressive seasons that Minnesota's ever had. So this is a new experience to all of them. But right now, without Ant able to do his thing, Minnesota isn't able to be the team that they've been throughout the playoffs so far. They need his impact offensively. He went to the bench, and the score was pretty dang close when he went to the bench early in the game. And by the time he came back, Minnesota's lead had bloomed to about 15 points. They extended their lead when he wasn't involved. Now, Naz Reid did his thing as he was hitting three-point shots all over the place, and Minnesota's thankful that he did because they wouldn't have even had a chance in this game if he wasn't making all those threes. But enough time talking about the losing team, let's go ahead and look at Dallas. One of the major things I mentioned in the last video that actually has aged quite well is the two things that the Mavericks would have to do to win games moving forward, and they've done that. The first thing was Luka has to be Luka. He just has to play out of this world, and he did that tonight as he put up a monstrous triple-double and hit the game-winning shot, completely carrying his Mavericks along the way. And the second thing that I said is that Dallas had to outwork Minnesota, and they did that too, as they once again won the points in the paint, and they won the battle of the boards. Luka Doncic is just improving his legacy by leaps and bounds. He carried his team throughout this game, and throughout the first half, Kyrie Irving was completely missing. And so all of it was relying on Luka. Kyrie stepped up towards the end of the game, and he was clutch, and of course, Luka was clutch. And it even had me wondering, is this 1-2 punch in the conversation of the most clutch 1-2 punch players in NBA history? Like, if you think about how these guys step up in the fourth quarter, they both do it. They're both capable of taking over games, and not many combos can say that. Sure, there's been great 1-2 punches like Kobe and Shaq, but Kobe was the guy who was known to take over the fourth quarter. Even guys like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but it was Michael Jordan who was known to take over in the fourth quarter. Luka can do it, and Kyrie can do it, and sometimes they just alternate. On the night, in this epic performance, Luka had 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists. I've seen a lot of Mavericks fans in the chat debating whether or not this team were actually underdogs, but if you look at the way analysts, and even myself as a YouTuber, you look at the way most talking heads were picking Minnesota heading into this series, you look at the fact that Minnesota's a 3 seed, Dallas is a 5th seed, and even Vegas odds, Minnesota was the favorite. Then you add in the fact that Luka Doncic is bleeding through his knee pads, and the only reason we didn't see the blood on his knee pads tonight is because he was wearing the black knee pads instead of the white knee pads. They shouldn't be winning. But again, Luka went out of this world and is carrying them, even though he's lost a step since his regular season form because his health isn't there. In reality, this team shouldn't be in the commanding position they're in, but they are because of their superstar player, and if Luka goes on to lead these Mavericks to the championship, you just know what the narrative's going to be. People are going to look back at this MVP award that went to Nikola Jokic, and they're going to retroactively say that that should have gone to Luka. The same way that people are looking back at Joel Embiid's MVP last year and saying that that should have gone to the NBA champion Nikola Jokic, they're going to say that about Luka and Jokic, which once again just further proves just how much the MVP award really is about narratives. At this point, Minnesota's on life support. I don't think they have much confidence. Can they come back? They're a young team. Ant isn't doing too hot. Rudy Gobert's confidence is shot. It's going to be tough to say, but their toughness is going to be tested. But now we're going back to Dallas, where you're going to have an excited atmosphere with two of the most clutch players in the NBA who are doing their thing as if they're at full strength, even if they're not. Again, to close out this video, I'll admit it, I was too quick to write off the Dallas Mavericks, but I just didn't see Luka performing at this level. But now that I have, my respect for him and for his toughness and for his abilities and for my opinion of his legacy has all shot up dramatically. Every Mavericks fan should be happy about that. You guys are in a great position at the moment. So what do you guys think? Is it officially time to panic in Minnesota? Should Anthony Edwards even be guarding Kyrie Irving? And are you even considering if the NBA made a mistake by giving the Defensive Player of the Year to Rudy Gobert or by giving the MVP to someone other than Luka Doncic? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.